focusing, I guess, on your paper that you work for. Now, if the CIA came to us and said, and I do want to pose this to everybody in the room, and I'm more than open for a different interpretation, but if the CIA came to us and they said 97% of us agree that ISIS has developed a weapon that could wipe out, you know, vast portions of America and destabilize our ecosystem for the next generations to come, would we want to do something about that? And you know what I'm getting at with this question?
Is this climate change?
Precisely.
Right.
So we have 97% of the scientific community.
Be nice. Be nice. Yeah. I'm perfectly happy.
And I would love to hear your response on this. You know,
fine.
I believe in a political spectrum we can have this.
Fine,
but when 97% of scientists say this,
okay.
and then the Trump administration removes any question of climate change from the website, and says that that's not an issue they want to address for the future. You know, I can say there are different political issues that
I understand
ways of solving it.
I understand the question.
That they can do that, but if they erase that discussion, I get really worried for even having a family in the future. And I'd love to hear your response. Thank you.
Thank you. Well, I don't have a problem with the Trump administration focusing away from environmental issues about which the United States can do nothing compared to China, and towards things like trade and immigration, focusing on things that matter rather than identity politics. So I was very happy to see the gay bit of the White House website disappear. We're doing fine. We're doing fine. Like, focus on stuff that actually matters. Like, help the rest of the country fix the fucking economy, you know, and make sure that people can be, do, and say whatever they want. So I wasn't worried about seeing climate change disappear, because there's not a huge amount that America can really do about it with China and India anyway. As to your question, you're sort of invoking a lot of authorities there. So if the CIA said that 97%, well, you hit upon something interesting. I saw a video of somebody I wouldn't expect to agree with under normal circumstances, of Glenn Greenwald on the BBC, sort of completely confounding this reporter by saying, yes, intelligence agencies have bias. Intelligence agencies sometimes go on political crusades. Intelligence agencies sometimes lie. Shocking, I know. And I think we have this habit, and it's increasingly, I think, a good thing that we're breaking out of this habit of just believing what people tell us if they hold particular positions, and we don't dig any deeper. Well, I worked for a climate change NGO in Germany for over a year. And I was there when the IPCC reports were being drafted. I was there in Bali for Al Gore's speech. Saw him land in his private jet with his retinue of 7 I think they were Tahoes. Were they Tahoes? Maybe they were Suburbans. 7 of them, you know, green-fingered Al Gore. I was there for all of that. And I saw the level of politics over science that actually goes on. And I was in the room with scientists who gerrymandered numbers to fit political agendas. And I have to tell you, if 97% of any group tells me that something is the case, that makes me deeply suspicious. Because 97% is way too many. No issue is agreed upon by 97% of people. Nothing. Not elections, nothing. When 97... All right, well, let's say contentious hypotheses or, you know, matters for discussion, sure, okay. But when something like climate change, which is by in no sense settled, 97% of scientists is actually a cause for suspicion and alarm for me. And indeed, we know from University of East Anglia and all kinds of other things just how many obfuscations and manipulations have been made in climate data. The problem is that your side, if I can put it like that, made a PR error in selling climate change to people. You were hysterical about it. It was like a religion. And, well, it's like the problem is that when you're so hysterical and when you punish people for disagreeing, and this is where the free speech element comes in, when you ridicule and punish people for stepping outside of the progressive orthodoxy, when you turn people into laughingstocks or cost them their jobs because they don't agree with you about something, you start to lose sympathy. That's what the progressive left... And that actually is a characteristic, a classic characteristic of all the groups I hate. Black Lives Matter do it. Feminists do it. In fact, feminists have lost. You know, fewer than 1 in 5 American women now call themselves a feminist. Why? Because they're such cunts. Not because most women don't want to get into the statistics about campus rape. They don't care. But they just know that they don't want to be like those feminists, because they quite like a boyfriend one day and ugh. So, you know, the problem is you goofed up trying to sell this to the public because you bullied them instead of persuading them. And the situation now is that people simply don't believe the established authorities that are supposed to be there to tell us things. And that situation has replicated itself across society. And that, I think, is a more interesting way of looking at sort of post-truth, post-fact societies. That breakdown of trust and belief in authority structures. That is the fault of no one but those authority structures themselves. Politicians have fucked themselves. The media has fucked itself. Higher education has fucked itself. And scientists have fucked themselves. The only people who believe scientists uncritically now are left-wing journalists. That's a real problem. And I can tell you... And I can tell you, you were quick to invoke your own life experience, you know, living in Germany, coming from England, and disagreeing with my characterizations. Well, I can tell you from working in a climate change NGO, I don't trust those cunts as far as I can throw them.